All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is September 25th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you to all my paying subscribers. Appreciate that. Try to provide valuable, actionable, profitable guidance and action alerts every day. All right, it's important to me to help you guys succeed out there. Again, special shout out John Jordan, Bob Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Rosted. Thank you for sharing the content. Appreciate that. All right, let's go take a look at the markets today. Had a great day. A lot of it was due to I was holding some puts from the day before, like probably close to 400 puts. And of course, market gap down significantly, and I was able to capture those profits. All right, let's take a look at the 10-minute chart on the SPY. I'm just saying we just hit a triple bottom here. 1, 2, 3. And I don't see the institution snapping this up, so that's not a good sign. All right, in addition to not seeing the institutions, see the triple bottom? 1, 2, 3, not snapping this up coming into the close. In addition to that, failed to make a higher high. All right, right there. Failed to make a significant higher high. All right, so maybe the bears will be inspired to make a lower low. We do have an uptrend line right here. Possible waiting. Maybe institutions are waiting for a pullback to the uptrend line right here. Okay, this is the second touch. This will be the third touch. That's probably good for a bounce. They'll probably spike it. All right, pretty good, and then they'll probably reverse right near this line. I'm suspecting, and if it comes down here tomorrow, that looks like that's like an $8 drop. We're at 650. Let's call it 658. And this is about 650. Keep in mind, 650 is the whole big fat whole round number. It's liable to bounce on 650. It's liable to bounce on this uptrend line right here. Okay, and I'm just saying, I didn't see any buyers come in at the end of the day to snap this up. So it does not look good for tomorrow, because if they knew there was value here, they would have snapped it up. I mean, we're only a buck or two right off of the support line. So they should have been snapping this up to help push it all the way back up to here. And they're not doing it, so it does not look good for SPY or QQQ, both of them. In addition to that, let's just look at the 10-minute. All right, on the 10-minute, you got a week. This is really consolidation. Like a 2-candle 10-minute uptrend coming into the close on the 2-hour chart. 2-hour chart is still in a downtrend. On the daily chart still in an uptrend. Daily chart still in an uptrend. Got the 3 crossing over the 8 here. Again, I think we're having a pullback to this area right here. Let's look at the 2-day chart with the VZO on it. All right, let's pinch this down. Okay, I'm just going to show you a pattern. All right, on the VZO, on the 2-day. Okay, I'm going to go all the way back to April when this whole rally started. Okay, every time we get a little green candle or green bar on the 2-day chart that does not surpass the 9 EMA, you get this little red nub and you get a pullback to the 8 EMA. Okay, well, we're already at the 8 EMA. We've got this candle, but it's a 2-day chart. The second day is tomorrow, so tomorrow will be the tell. All right, so if tomorrow we're not up over the 9, I suspect if we're not already on this uptrend line, that's where we're probably heading. Okay, tomorrow, based on the 2-day VZO. I'll point it out to you one more time. So here's another one. Failure to make right there. to reach over the 9, and you got to pull back to the 8. Okay, another one. Failure to reach over the 9, and you got to pull back to the 8 right there. Okay, failure to reach over the 9, you got to pull back to the 8 and the 17 right there. Okay, these are 2-day charts. Failure to reach over the 9 right there, and you can see you got to pull back to the 8, close to the 17 now right there. Okay, so there's a pullback right there. All right, so that's what we got, and then you can see price comes all the way back to the uptrend line right through here. All right, this is the August low, the September low, and we'll see what happens. All right, so 2 days still in an uptrend, daily still in an uptrend, 2 hour definitely in a downtrend, 10-minute it's a very weak 10-minute uptrend. It's only 2 candles. It looks more like consolidation than it does an uptrend. Again, tomorrow will be the tell because it's the second day of a 2-day candle. All right, so today is the first day, and you notice on the VZO we did not quite reach the 9 EMA on the VZO, so tomorrow will be the tell. Wins on the weekly chart, uptrend right there. Monthly chart, uptrend right there. Okay, back to the daily chart. Okay, we're still up there. I'll zoom way out so you can see. We're still way up here, the top of quadrant 4. We're still bullish up there. Okay, remember we have not broken trend yet. We may break through the 8 EMA. We may break through the 17 EMA, but it's imperative we don't break through the uptrend line right through here. Okay, we can spike it, produce a little rubber band candle, and then we need to bounce out of there. Okay, if not, it's not going to be looking good. 650 is the big fat whole round number. I'm expecting a bounce there, or the third touch of this uptrend line right there. So be prepared for this tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. We'll see. All right, so that's SPY. For price action for today, okay, here's a 10-minute chart. We gapped down. Of course, I told you I had a couple of big lots of contracts for puts, so I captured my gains right in through here, okay, and then price bounced back up there, so I traded calls back up to on the 10-minute chart, the 17 EMA. We got back on top of VWAP, traded some more calls right here, got back up to the 17 EMA, and then we rolled over. I bought puts coming down through here, coming back down through VWAP, coming all the way into here, and then we had a V-bottom bounce. You can see that big green candle right there. Now, when I look at this green candle and I see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles right there, so when I look at that, I look at the nature of the move, okay? If I can stack all the bodies of those candles on top of each other, all right, then what I do is I measure it off, okay? And for anyone that saw me in here, I was taking the quadrant lines and measuring off this green candle here. Actually, I think I was measuring off something other than that. Let's take the 5-minute chart. Okay, so let's take 3-minute chart. Let's take the 10-minute chart. Okay, so I was measuring off from right here. The minute we passed over and closed above the midpoint, okay, of this move right here, all right, then I started buying calls to come back to VWAP, all right, because that was for me, that was the red erases green right here. Okay, so green went up, red erased green. This was the entry right there. So down into there. If we erase 50% of that move, 51, I'm looking for a price to come back to VWAP and kind of hold. So we got a bull flag. We got consolidation on the 10-minute chart. We'll see what happens tomorrow. That is bullish consolidation. It's a week 2 candle 10-minute uptrend. I'm just going to call it consolidation, all right, for right there. So there's SPY. So we'll see what happens. They probably may just bear flag it, you know, from here to there. So you can see we've got to move down, up, down. Looking to come all the way back up, test the highs, probably even get a little bit higher. Notice we didn't fill the gap today. Okay, notice the bulls didn't fill the gap. That's not a good sign when the bulls don't fill a bearish gap up there. Okay, that was necessary to fill that gap in order to remain bullish. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so if we look at the three candles. Okay, we got boom, 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 and not the inverted sword. It's the other sword. So this could spell a reversal back up to, I don't know, maybe back up to support, resistance right about here. We got resistance at 662. Okay, so I see a possible move back up to 662 right there. All right, we'll see what they do from there, and then I think they roll over in an H pattern, come down and visit this area right here. We'll see what happens on the VZO tomorrow at the close, to see what happens with that, to see if they actually do get it up over the 9, if they do go after 662 tomorrow. Again, at the end of the day, they did not snap up positions in SPY or QQQ. All right, so currently still in that 2-hour downtrend. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, for QQQ, all right, we've got same thing happened on QQQ. I had puts. I just took profit into the bottom down here, and then I bought calls when they erased 50% of this. Okay, so I bought calls to come back up over here. All right, and then from here I just exited my calls. All right, I got some more calls here, but then they started pushing out. See this? They lost the 10-minute uptrend right there. When they lost that 10-minute uptrend, I exited right there. And then we had another push, and then we came back down. I got some puts coming down into this spike here to revisit the low of day. They failed to visit the low of day. They recovered. See this move right here? You can stack all the candles on top. They recovered over 51% of this move from here down to here. Then I started buying calls to come back up over VWAP. And then we held right here. I was looking for some follow through. I guess we didn't have enough time, so ran out of time, and you can see there was no follow through. That looks like a measured move, really, right there. And if that is a measured move, let's see where it will go. Okay, I'm just going to pan this out. Here it is. Okay, so there's the first measurement. Duplicate the box, and then stack it up underneath there. All right, well, that sticks us up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, keep an eye on that all-time high anchored VWAP. We need to be over that. All right. I just want to say there was some economic data that came out today, and I'm going to tell you, from my point of view, it was not bad, and I got to say it was borderline fantastic. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong. I like the data that came out, but you know, it was good stuff for the GDP, anyways. All right, so there's QQQ. Again, QQQ. Let's see what kind of candle we got there. Again, we got the sword that faces down, not the inverted swords. So we got like actually it's a little spinning top. All right, so we got a lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap over the rising 17. Again, I would look for price to come back up there, probably back up to the top of that doji right there. We'll see for tomorrow. So that's QQQ. Daily chart. Okay, we're still bullish. All right, we're still bullish, and we're still in an uptrend. Nothing's broken yet on the daily chart. 2 hour, okay, 2 hours in a downtrend. But on the daily chart, we're still in an uptrend up here, okay? We're still at the top of quadrant 4. So that's bullish, still in an uptrend. Weekly chart, okay, if nothing's broken on the daily, then obviously nothing's broken on the weekly. Weekly is still bullish and in an uptrend. Monthly, still bullish and in an uptrend, okay? So maybe we get a pullback, and then we get an AI rally bubble maybe gets created. I don't know. Or we move over to the right and we start building, in other words, coiling up that AI bubble that's about to break out. Okay, that's what I foresee in the near future. All right, so there's QQQ, there's SPY, because the market's healthy, everything's looking good. All right, I don't really see anything wrong. Okay, I actually see an AI bubble building. Okay, so there's QQQ, there's SPY. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow, this is the monthly, still in an uptrend. See all the green dots? Still in an uptrend. Weekly, still in an uptrend. Nothing's broken. Daily chart, 3 candles back to the 17 EMA right here. Okay, so price action, lower high, lower low, spinning top, closing under a bearish cross, but just over the rising 17. Again, top of quadrant 4, still in an uptrend right there on Diamond Dow. IWM got the another spinning top. Okay, price action right here. Got a bearish cross, say lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish cross, just over the 17 EMA right there, just above it, still in the middle of quadrant 4. See, there's quadrant 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's still bullish, and that's still in an uptrend right there. So last one is FNGU. All right. Again, we got the spinning top right there. Okay, price action underneath closing, lower high, lower low, closing under bearish cross over the 17. See the green dot? It's completely eclipsed by the body of the candle. All right, so that's bullish, still in an uptrend right there on FNGU. Okay, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Nothing's broken. We had a 3 candle pullback. That is a normal pullback, a 3 candle pullback. If we get more, that's going to be alarming. Okay, all right. So there's FNGU, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Again, all of them, weekly, monthlies, are still looking good, and the dailies are still bullish and in uptrends. Okay, but they are pulling back. All right, let's take a look at silver and gold. Start with gold. Gold closing over a bullish trap. Okay, looks like a lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap over the rising 17. Look at this, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and still in an uptrend. Silver. Okay, silver prints out a new 14-year high right there for silver. All right, so that's higher low, higher high. That's bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, see, that's a 14-year high right there, not the all-time high. There's the all-time high up there. That's a new 14-year high. Last time we were here was 2011 right there. That's silver. Let's take a look at USO. All right, USO trying to climb into the upper third. I don't know. It's getting close up there. I'm not going to give it to them. That's all there is to it. Just not going to give it to them. They never impressed me here. They couldn't hold it there, so they're not getting it. All right, they're neutral and they're knocking on the door. All right, price action is that looks like an outside day. Yep. Okay, so that's higher low. Excuse me, lower low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the rising. Over the hooking 17 EMA, knocking on the door of the upper third to be bullish. Okay, once again, price action up over the midpoint, up over the 3-year high anchored VWAP. Maybe it's a 4-year. When were we here? Yeah, it's a 3-year high anchored VWAP. That's a pink line right there. That's a post-COVID rally right there. Okay, so price action. Again, not in the upper third, not in the lower third, so it's just neutral. Knocking on the door to be inside the bulls. All right, trying to get a new name for itself. Nice 4-candle rally right there, and we got a high. They made a higher high, so they're uptrend, neutral, knocking on the door to be in the bullish upper third. USO, nice work for them. Can they hold the higher ground though? All right, that's the big question. Okay, need about 4 days or more, 3, maybe 6 days. They continue to disappoint. All right, so here's UNG. Here's the quad line, so you can see the price action. This is the all-time high right here. Notice how close we are to the all-time high. Today's candle is a higher low and a higher high, but we closed over the bearish trap, but under the flat 17 right there. Notice we're near the bottom of quadrant 1. See this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Near the bottom of quadrant 1, so that's bearish and still in a downtrend, okay? If we take out this high, we can be in an uptrend, but they're still bearish. They couldn't take out this high when we were here before, so they remain in a downtrend, all right? It's just a label anyways, all right? So there's UNG, bearish and in a downtrend. On the technicals, T2101. Oh, look at that. We are flipping. All right, on the technicals, let's go to the 15. Okay, I'm going to say yesterday was the lowest participation or the lowest I've seen T2101 since the COVID, the COVID dip. I'm going to call it a dip. Okay, since the COVID dip, that was the lowest I've ever seen T2101. So that's how low we are. So we could be starting a pullback. All right, this could be part of the pullback. So notice we went right back up here. Okay, so maybe this is the V bottom, and we can wind up going all the way up to the top here. But anyways, T2101 has started or has put in the bottom of the V. All right, for a V bottom, this is the bottom of the V. All right, so the low has been put in. That's what it looks like to me. All right, so now we're looking for price to start heading in the other direction. All right, so if we're at a top, okay, it's kind of rolling over to come down. We'll see what happens. All right, so there's T2101, 15-minute chart. Okay, looking like it put in the bottom right there. T2122, look at us. We're down here in the oversold zone. Okay, so we could see a V bottom rally tomorrow. I don't think we're going to get over 662. I'll be surprised if we do. The bulls didn't show up today. I think they're just going to blast it and then pull the bid and pull the rug out and let it free fall. That's what I think. Okay, that's what I think's coming tomorrow. They're going to jack it. They're going to rip it up 662, and then they're going to pull the rug and just let it free fall with the retail traders. That's what I think's going to happen. All right, I'm just speculating. T2122, again, spent the day in the oversold zone. All right, so this is the place where things reverse. See the overbought zone? This is where the things will reverse up there. This is where the things reverse down here. So maybe the selling is over. We pull back to 662. We'll see what happens from there, okay? Need to close over that all-time high anchored VWAP. That will be the question. Can we accomplish that? Remember Fridays? This is what happens on Fridays, okay? This typical move for Fridays is the first hour and a half, they just move to the right. I mean, they get a whole bunch of decay coming out of those options that expire on Friday. So they don't do anything for an hour and a half, but wiggle it around and move it over to the right. This is the typical game plan. And then they make one move, all right, to where they're going. Typically they make one move. Could be up, could be down, probably be up, all right? And then they pin it there for the rest of the day, okay? So, I mean, they completely screw retail traders, okay? Number one, they get all that decay happening at the beginning of the option, so then it's down to like nothing, all right? And then they make their move, and then they pin it there after they get their move. Like, usually their move is done by like 1:30 or 2, all right? And then from there, they don't do anything. They just let the price decay on the options. Okay, I'm just telling you that's what they typically do on a Friday. All right, so last Friday was different. It was quadruple witching. Anyways, T2122, we're in the reversal zone right here. Oversold right here, down here at the bottom. 15-minute chart. All right, let's take a look at T2123. I see further red. And we got a bearish gap down that's not getting filled by the bulls. We have not seen that in a long, long time. Okay. Okay. This is a new look for T2123. A gap down that's not filled by the bulls. We have not seen this look in a long, long time. We are in a 15-minute downtrend. This is the 15-minute chart. This is the rubber band candle. Okay, so they need to bring it all the way back up to 200 SMA tomorrow. Okay, otherwise there's a high probability we break the rubber band candle and there's more downside. All right, that's T2123 15-minute chart. 3-bar chart. Okay, 3 more red candle bars right here. Again, you can see the gap down that wasn't filled by the bulls, so that's bearish in nature, but it is not a downtrend. Okay, we're still bullish on the 3-bar chart. Nothing's broken. Up here at the top of quadrant 4, we're still bullish, still in an uptrend on the 3-bar chart. 15-minute, we're not. Okay, because we got, see this, a high right there. So we got a high there, so we're getting lower highs. You see the lows, lower low, lower low, lower low, and a little higher low right there, but no higher high. All right, so the big thing will be, what are they going to do tomorrow? So there's T2123. All right, and then here's the 3-bar chart, still up here at the top. Remember, that's a new all-time high. This was the all-time high, and we just inked out. All right, we did the work. All right, we did a new all-time high up there. FNGU. All right, what do we got here? Okay, we got a bearish gap down, but the bulls did fill the gap on that one. Okay, that's interesting, and produced a higher low, but no higher high. Okay, and we are underneath the 200 SMA. And on the 15-minute, we are definitely still in a downtrend because we got no higher highs on the FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Okay, we did manage to climb back on top of VWAP here, but we're still in a downtrend. And this, okay, so that is still attached. That makes this the rubber band candle. Okay, because see that little spike that's attached to the 200 SMA. Okay, so all of this is the big spike candle that makes this one the free floating candle. You got to imagine it on a daily chart compressing all of this price action. This would be the free floating one that's not attached to the 200. So this is the rubber band candle right here for FNGU. Closing candles below that would not be good. All right, for SPY or QQQ, all right? That would be not a very good sign. There's FNGU, okay? So we just went through all the technicals. I'll take questions in the room. If not, we're going to wrap this up, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Again, I'm thinking we bounce tomorrow. I don't know how far we bounce or we just consolidate, okay, based on the spinning tops. Who knows? Maybe we move over to the right. Bring the checkers. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of nothing. That's what it's going to be, a lot of nothing. Because the first hour and a half, they jam you, you know. You ever play football and you're like a wide receiver and, you know, the defensive end there, he jams you, you know. In other words, you can't get the run going, okay, on football. You know, and it kind of ruins the whole down and out play, all right? So you're running down, you're going to do a down and out, all right, or a down and cut across, and instead you get jammed by the defensive receiver or the defensive, anyways, you get by the defense and then kind of ruins your whole thing. Well, that's what they do on Fridays, is they jam you. So... all right. See you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Everybody have... oh, we're going to look at the trades. Okay. There really wasn't much. All right. It's just it's the big numbers. Okay. But it was not much at all. There wasn't a whole lot of price action going on right there. You can see we did move back and forth, which gave me the opportunity to trade the top, trade the bottoms, and trade the tops. So let's go back and take a look at it. And we'll look right here. Okay, I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to hit the 5-minute chart so you can see the buys and sells. Okay, so I'm going to push this up. Okay, so this one is calls. Okay, so I bought calls, and you can see I bought calls and I sold into strength. And if we look up top here, okay, you can see the underlying security, which is SPY. Okay, you can see price rips off the bottom and goes up that way. Okay, so I bought the dip right there, and price goes back up, so I sell into strength. Okay, buy the dips of the option candles, sell into strength. Buy the dips, sell into strength. Buy the dips, sell into strength. Okay, right up here, see, selling into strength. Buy the dip, and then we get a crossover, and I get out. I'm not interested in it anymore. Okay, not like I was here. All right, so I made 16K on those. Then at the end of the day, I was looking for, again, we got that 5-minute uptrend that developed right off that bottom of that low, that valley low right there. Started accumulating some calls for that and sold into strength as price came up. But they were 0 DTEs, so time was running out. Okay, so there's 16K there. 17K on the puts. As you can see on the puts, I was holding them overnight, and I sold into strength right there. Reloaded, sold into strength. Okay, and then I saw price rolling over right here, so I bought some, sold into strength, reloaded, sold into strength, reloaded, sold into strength, reloaded. You can see price goes up, sold into strength, and started to reload some more, and they stopped going down right there. I thought we were going to print out a lower low, and they faked me out. Okay, so I'm still holding those right there. Okay, and next one, about 12K 900, and those are calls, 661s. Again, buying the dips of these candle lows, the option candle, okay? Not these candles, the option candle, and selling into strength. See the rally up into the highs, sell into strength. Reload, sell into strength. Reload, sell into strength. Reload, sell into strength right here. And you can see I was not interested. Those are zeros, so wasn't interested in those anymore. 30K on some 662 calls. Okay, on those. Started to nibble. Right here, got 30. All right, and then I found some footing right here on VWAP. Started to accumulate some shares, sell into strength, and accumulate some more, sell into strength on these. And they were zeros, so I had to exit right there. Okay, didn't want any more to deal with this anymore. All right, because it's time's running out. It's a 0 DTE. Okay, $32 on this. Again, this is longer term. This is for tomorrow. Just sold into strength up top here. Actually, long two. Oh, I'm still holding these right here. Okay, 16K on some more puts. Again, I was holding these overnight, and I just sold into the rally. Reloaded, sold into the rally. Reloaded. And then I did not like the looks of it, so I exited those. Saw price rolling over. I bought some more again. Sold into strength. Reloaded so that I could take it down lower. And look what they did. They did not go lower. Instead, they went right back up over VWAP and started to consolidate over here. All right, so that's how I made 93K. Now, on the days where you get big valley dips and big peaks and valleys, it's easy for me to make a lot of money. Okay, either that, or if I have an uptrend that happens to run all day long, those are easy to make a lot of money. Okay, where it's not easy to make a lot of money is when they move and then they go sideways for the rest of the day. Okay, those are the most difficult days. If you didn't capture the move, and I didn't on some of these, okay, off of the highs. Why? Because I did not want to be counter trend. Okay, but on those, the move was there. I just did not want to be counter trend in a bullish market. Okay, after the first day, I'll be counter trend on the second and the third day. Okay, so on these, I'm fine with buying the puts because I can see something happening. All right, but on the first day, I'm not a big fan of going counter trend. All right, so that's it. That's it, traders. Yeah, great two-way price action, exactly. Nice down, nice up. Nice down, nice up. This was probably one of the prettiest right here. Beautiful 5-minute downtrend. That, you know, reached a climax right here, or an exhaustion candle, and then a beautiful 5-minute uptrend right into the close right there. I was looking for more continuation, like on up to 660, but it just didn't get it, okay, on that one. Run out of time. All right, traders, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. We'll do it again. So that was a great day for me. Yeah, to the target and plus a bit. I didn't expect it to get on top of VWAP. All right. All right, that's it for me. We'll see everybody tomorrow.